welcome to today's live tea session. Today we are going to talk about what is it that happens after you start shrinking, after you start realizing that you don't want to put yourself in a box anymore and you want to start doing different things. So this week we had our Tuesday tea where I spoke about how we shrink, why we shrink, and I also shared with you the recipe to stop shrinking. And if you haven't read it already, go ahead and check the tea, obviously after the tea session. But I like to come up here every week. And by the way, if you're catching this on the replay, comment replay. But I like to come with you every week and dive a little bit deeper on the topics that we talk about in the tea. Okay, so if you want to have the whole experience, read the tea on Tuesday and then come and chat with me on Friday. Okay, because I decided to do this on Fridays. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we start getting used to coming live on Fridays. Okay. Oh, and I see that my friend Andrea joined. Hello, Andrea. Say hello in the comments. How are you doing? Andrea is on fire in the. My tablet almost fell. Is on fire inside of the Gentle Badass Academy. I'm so proud of her. Okay. So let's talk about what is it that happens when you stop shrinking, when you realize that, you know what, I am not going to make myself more small anymore. I am not going to act in a way just to please other people. And I am definitely not going to be inside of a box just because it makes people more comfortable and all that jazz, right? So a lot of things happen when you stop shrinking yourself. And some of the things are really cool, are really exciting, and we're going to talk about one of them. And some of the things are not so pleasant, and it can be really, really triggering and make you want to go and hide inside of the box again. And that's something that we don't want. And by the way, when I'm talking about the box, and I spoke about it in the Tuesday tea this week, by the way, the Tuesday tea this week is called No More Shrinking, No More Boxes. You were never meant to fit in a box anyway. That's the name of the tea if you want to look it up. Where was I going? Yeah, so it can be, well, let me get back to the box. So the box for me is a metaphor for this place in our minds where we box ourselves in when we don't realize that we are bigger than life. We don't realize that we get to speak up and that we get to show up how we truly are. So what happens when you stop shrinking and you start taking action? Some things happen that are really cool, and then other things happen that are really not nice. So one of the things that I really wanted us to talk about here today is about the backlash that happens when you really stop shrinking. And I really wanted to talk about this backlash because what you hear online usually it's a conversation about, yes, stop shrinking, put yourself out there. But not enough people are talking about the backlash that we receive from the people that are around us when we start saying no, when we start setting boundaries, when we start speaking up and we start owning up our energy when we get into the room. And when we face this backlash from the people that sometimes it's from the people that we love the most, is from friends that we had our whole lives, right? And people can be like, okay, what is happening right now? Why are you acting out this way? And it's funny, I had this friend a long time ago, and I shared this in the self-love conversation that I had with Erika Vol the other day. And it was a live session, by the way. And I had this friend when I started really opening up myself for experiences, I realized that I was living quite of a boring life and I wanted to experiment more and I wanted to do different things. And I remember I quit this job where they were trying to take advantage of me, right? I was a young woman. I was a supervisor of like this big team for this public contracting platform, and I was completely exploited. Okay. So I came to the conclusion that I didn't want to be there anymore. I took an advantage to quit that job, and I went and I traveled to Brazil, and then I was, unemployed for some time and just living life and, living my best life. And I had this friend come to me, and she told me that she liked me better when I was at that job, that she liked me better when I was doing all of those things that weren't aligned with me. And I just looked at her and I was like, so you liked me better when I was unhappy and like I wasn't living the life that I wanted to live? What the hell? What kind of friend are you? But of course, we're not friends anymore, obviously. She didn't like me then. But that's the kind of things, the thing that happens when you start showing up for yourself and being who you truly are and doing whatever the fuck you want. That happens. People really, sometimes people are afraid of freedom. Sometimes people are jealous of your freedom. I mean, when I'm talking about freedom, it's mostly emotional freedom. It's not like I was financially free back then, but something in my freedom and me wanting to be more and do more and expand myself really got on her nerves. And now that I think about it, this was a person who was very trapped, right? So it completely makes sense. But in the moment, it can feel like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be doing something else? Am I doing too much? Am I too much? Right? And I really wanted to talk about this with you today to just shed a light on this situation, tell you that, you are not alone. That happens. And especially when you're setting boundaries also, people, when they are used to you never saying no and just doing whatever they tell you to do and to be very complacent and all of that, when you say no and you set a boundary, you're going to find some backlash, and that's completely normal. Okay, I just want to tell you that you are not alone, and mainly the main thing here is, please don't take that as a sign to get inside of the box again. Don't run to the box again. Face the situation. Do what you got to do. I trust that you know what you got to do, but just know that it's a universal experience. It happens to anyone, everyone. When you put a boundary, when you start being your true self, you're going to find some backlash. But the other side of this thing, the positive side, is that you start to connect more with people that align with you and the life that you want to live. So you're going to face backlash. You are going to probably lose some people along the way, but you are going to win, because at the end of the day, you don't want people by your side that want you to be unhappy, that want you to be just compliant just because. So the upside is that your tribe is coming your way. You are going to meet people that have things in common with you, that are doing the same as you. Okay. So if you're right now facing this backlash and you are in the middle of changing and just expanding yourself, and you're like, oh my God, but I feel so alone. What the hell? First of all, if you feel all alone, you want to build something and you have a vision for your life, come join us at the Gentle Badass Academy, which is my premium subscription here on Substack. Just like, we're all in the same boat. We are building together. Like, it's amazing in there. But if you are at this point where you're like, I'm so freaking alone, like I can't relate with the people that are by my side anymore, with family. I'm not saying just dump everybody, but sometimes we can be with people and have that feeling that we are alone, right? Just know that your tribe is coming as you expand, as you sign up for more experiences, as you start doing the things that really lighten you up, like, you're going to find your tribe and you're going to love it. Look, Jay already also joined us. Let's go. Nice to see you, Jay. So that's the first thing that happens. When you stop shrinking, you're going to get that backlash. Okay. What else happens? There's this weird place that's almost like a limbo when you stop shrinking yourself, because you make a decision, okay, this is not the way I want to live anymore. I'm going to expand, I'm going to grow, and I'm going to do all of these things, but you're not there yet. So you are going to feel like, okay, you are not that person who used to shrink all the time anymore, but you are also not that person that you envisioned for yourself. You didn't embody her yet. Okay. So you will find yourself in this messy middle where you're going to be like, okay, so you are going to realize that there are consequences, right? And you're going to see that backlash. You're going to see other things happening. And yeah, you're going to feel triggered. You're going to be like, I want to walk towards that woman, towards becoming her, but I don't want to go back there, but I feel like I'm not ready. And, this is a Tuesday tea. This is a chat with you. And I just really want to talk about these things because we don't talk about them enough. We don't talk about being in this messy middle and being in this limbo. And I just want you again to know that you are not alone. And if you can relate to this, please let me know in the comments. I know I'm not alone on this one. And when you choose this life of growth and expansion, you're going to feel like that a few times because I remember when I was working as a primary school teacher at the same time, trying to lift my business off the ground. And then I was envisioning myself working full time in my business. So that was a version of me. But then when I actually quit the job and started my business full time, then there was another version of me. And it's like we keep walking towards this better version of ourselves. And we are going to find ourselves in the messy middle so many times. I feel like our lives, and it's funny how sometimes people tell me about how they want to wait for a better time to invest in themselves and stuff like that. And I'm like, what better time? When is it going to happen? Because life is so busy, life is so crazy, everything is so fast nowadays. For me, it really helps me to know that, you know what, most of the time I'm going to be in the messy middle because that's just who I am. I love expanding. And if you're here, you're probably this kind of person that loves growth and expansion. And you're going to find yourself in that messy middle. But the good thing is, like, you don't have to do this alone. And the academy is just one of those places where you get to be in the messy middle and go after building the life that you want without shrinking in real time. And I'm really serious about it. So just know that you are not alone. It's so normal. You are going to feel so triggered. You're going to feel, it's so unfamiliar when you start acting differently. It's not only other people who will have backlash against you. Sometimes you're going to be like, girl, what are you doing? so, so you know what? Like, you're not alone. Okay. Are you feeling this? Let me know in the comments if this is landing and if this is making sense. And by the way, at the end of this session, this is a very short one, I am going to share with you some prompts. So if you have your notebook ready or your phone to write on it, I'm going to share some prompts to help you kind of process and digest the tea that we're sharing right now. Yep. So that's the thing. And the other thing that happens, the third and last thing that happens, I mean, way more things happen, but the third and last thing that happens is that you start realizing that you actually want more. Because once you start doing the healing and the forward work and you realize that you are bigger, that you have this force inside of you, you start wanting more and you start wanting that your life matches the work that you have been doing. That's what happens. You start being, oh my God, like, I'm not happy with how my life is right now. But that's normal because you outgrew your life. Because you grow, but your life remains small. Because your life usually matches the point that you are. So if you were shrinking and now you decide to stop shrinking, you're going to be like, I want something different. And that's why, like, sometimes people have this life where they did the training, they went to university, they have a whatever degree, they said that they were going to have this profession until the end of time. And then all of a sudden they realize that, like, oh, I don't want to be here. And they think it's weird. They think there's something wrong with them. They think that they should be more grateful for where they are and stuff like that. And it's none of that. It just happens because you have decided that you were going to move forward. And if your spirit is growing, your life has to grow with you. You know, your life has to grow with you. So, okay, let me know. Even if you're catching this on the replay, let me know if you can relate to this. I love having these honest conversations about stuff that we usually don't talk about because I love being a coach and I love having all of these coachy conversations. But at the end of the day, like, we're real. I know that most of you are experiencing this and you're like, what the fuck? so, so that's what's up. You decided that you were going to stop shrinking, and that's what happens. You'll have backlash from other people, sometimes backlash from yourself. You're going to find yourself in this weird position where you're like, I'm not there either. I'm not over there. Like, this is completely normal, and you will want something new. Let's digest and process and digest all of this because I can't leave you like that. Okay, grab your notebook, whatever, if you have space to write on it. Okay, I have them over here. Okay, Andrea is saying that it makes sense. And if you have a question, please drop them in the comments. Even if you have a question, like after this live, I love reading comments and answering comments. So yeah, just drop the questions, and maybe you experience something different. Maybe you're like, yeah, so I stopped shrinking and this is what happened, and it's different from what I said, because I mean, we're all different and we have different life situations. So if you want to say something else, just say it in the comments, but because I'm sure that somebody will relate to your experience, you know. Okay. All right. Let's start working on the journaling. I love journaling. I hope you do. Okay. So, question number one, or prompt number one: where in my life am I still shrinking without realizing it? And what would it look like to take up space instead? I'm going to write it down. Where in my life, and if you are live with me, you can do this with me. Shrinking without realizing it, and what would I wrote this in the morning and I'm like, oh, good question. What would it look like to take up space instead? Okay, this is question number one. I have three for you. So, where in my life am I still shrinking without realizing it? And what would it look like to take up space instead? This is, okay, one of the biggest questions. This is like the foundation. And okay, should I go to number two? And if you want, if you like, and if you want to write down some answers, I'm curious, you can also do so, and in the replay as well. Okay, next question is, what backlash, real or imagined? This is interesting. What backlash, real or imagined, have I been avoiding by staying small? Is it actually as bad and scary as it feels? I'm going to write it down, okay? What backlash? I don't know why I'm writing so small. So small, so slow. My dyslexia betraying me. Real or imagined? Have I been avoiding by staying small? Because sometimes it is in our heads. Sometimes it's not even real. And sometimes it's not even that bad. Because let's say that I would remain small because my friend thought that I was, you know, a more fun person to be around when I was living the other life. Like, I wouldn't be here with you, right? It wasn't that bad. I lost a friend and I won, I don't know how many. Is it actually as bad? And I love that we are writing about it, because you will see on paper that usually it's not as bad. And if it is as bad as it seems, what can you do to support yourself? And what does that mean to you on your journey to becoming the person that you really want to be? Ooh, I have one more. Okay. Okay, let me read it first. Now that I have decided to stop shrinking, what do I actually want more of? Now that I've decided to stop shrinking, shrinking, what, Jesus, what do I actually want more of? Yes, because when you tap into this energy of expansion, of abundance, of being who you truly are, what you want is actually different. So when you think about, okay, I'm not shrinking myself, I'm not making myself small, I freaking kicked that box that I didn't belong in. Okay, what do I actually want more of? And these can be like feelings. It doesn't need to be anything material. It can be just experiencing more peace, experiencing more joy, experiencing more freedom, whatever that is. All right. Let me know what you think about these particular prompts. And if you have any questions, also drop them in the comments. I am really curious to know how you feel and what this brings into you. And if you're catching this on the replay, same, okay? Like your energy is here. You are in my mind. We are one as a community. So feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about all of this and how you feel. And if you've done the work, I know that if you're here, you've done the work. I mean, you are like, I'm going to stop shrinking. I'm going to create a different life. So if you have done the work and you are ready to build the life that you want, with that version of you that stops shrinking and actually goes after what she wants, then I would love to have you inside of the academy if you aren't there already. Because inside of the Gentle Badass Academy, we build the life that you want step by step, day by day. This week, we have been doing the Make the Move challenge. And this week was all about creating that structure to support you as you go after what you want. And it's been so powerful. So I would love to have some of you join me. And yeah, drop me any questions you've got about the academy if you're not there yet. I mean, Andrea and Jai are there. They joined me live. And yeah, I would love to see you inside of the academy. I would love to see you every Friday. I know I changed the date of the tea, but I realized that if I did the tea on Tuesday, I couldn't actually give you time to read the tea and then come join me, live to discuss the tea. So that's why we're doing it on Friday. And I like it. It's kind of just like a perfect way for me to end the week. And it's cool because I end the week in community with you, badass. So that's completely cool. Okay. Do I have any questions? Ladies, badass ladies, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll wait for a few seconds and then we are going to wrap up today's tea. No questions? 3, 2, 1. No questions. If you want to ask me anything, okay. Jay said, no questions, only thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Okay, ladies, I will see you. Oh, hold on. There's a question. Okay, I have one question. What to do with fear thoughts? Okay. All right. I was going to say something that sounds very weird, but I will just trust my intuition. You don't have to be afraid of fear. It sounds crazy, but it's like you are going to have fear. I think we spend a huge amount of time trying to not feel fear and trying to not be afraid. But when you live a life where you want to expand and you want to create something that you have never created before, you are going to be you are going to experience fear. So first part is just releasing a little bit of the pressure and being like, I am going to be afraid. And you were very specific by talking about what to do with fear thoughts, right? But remember, fear is also in the body. So what we want to do is normalize fear. You are going to be afraid sometimes. Like you're going to be afraid sometimes. What we don't want to do is be dysregulated. So one of the things that you can do is to support yourself throughout. So using the strategies that we talk about in the academy, for example, where we drop into the body and we drop into our hearts and we help our bodies feel safe because you are going to experience all these fear thoughts because you don't feel safe in what you are creating, right? So we want to create that safety so you can go after what you want. But we are not going to eliminate fear forever. We're just going to normalize it. And most of the time when you look fear in the eye, it just starts shrinking like this. So instead of you shrinking, it's going to be the fear that is going to shrink. And then what we're going to do is to just nurture other types of thoughts, other types of feelings. And did I already release the audio on joy? I think it was today's audio in the academy. Um, Nurture other feelings besides fear. So fear does not take over. And another thing, lastly, is that fear is very similar to excitement. So sometimes just ask yourself, am I afraid of this thing or am I really excited about this thing that I'm doing? Because it feels the same in the body. Let me know if this was useful. Let me know in the comments. I'll wait. That's probably a delay in the comments. Was this useful? It's hot drive. Okay, I'm waiting for the response. Okay. Okay, perfect. There is the response. Yes, thanks. Amazing. Absolutely. And anything else, like you're in the academy, so we're going to be working on all of that. And creating safety is a huge part of the things of the work that we do inside of the academy. So you're good. And if anyone else is also struggling with these types of issues, come join us. We're over there. We're over there. Okay, badass. Go ahead. As I always say, I started saying this in my audios and I love it. So I'm going to end the live like this. Go ahead, be a badass, but just remember to be gentle. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.